I'm going to go ahead and kind of start. I'd like I'll get a few announcements out of the way real quick, and maybe Rob will get back in here and a few other people. Welcome to the February edition or 2023 February edition of the Atlanta Radio Club. And thank you everybody to being with us again tonight. We're going to have another great presentation that Rob has put together for us and set up. We couple quick announcements. The Steven's not with us tonight, repeater manager, but he wanted me to let everybody know that there is a tornado drill next Wednesday. And if I jump out of videos because the video is acting up, you'll just have to listen. But tornado drills next Wednesday at 8:50, around 8:15 in the morning. And our repeaters are part of that linked system. So our repeaters will be in use in the morning next Wednesday. You're more than welcome to sit in and I believe participate, he said also. It's a practice drill. So you're more than welcome to listen and participate from what I understand. And it'll go until it ends. I would imagine that the more people that try to check in might extend it a little bit. But it still should go for a while because there are several people that are involved. There's all the linked repeaters and everything. So they're trying to activate as many counties as they possibly can that day with the system. So it'll go for a while, but you're more than welcome to participate in that.
John, is that a D-Star drill or is it analog?
It's everything from what I understand, everything that's well, he didn't really specify. I can get you the email and that have a few more details in it and send it to you if you'd like.
If you would, please.
I had the let me see here, hang on. Let's see, looking through the email, I don't see anything right off the bat. It's a long one.
That's okay, I can look. Send it to me.
Yeah, I would imagine that it may be analog because I think all the linked repeaters are usually analog. I don't think there's any D-Star or anything involved. It's similar to the Wednesday night internet linking project that happens every Wednesday night. So it's the same repeaters except for the out-of-state repeaters. This is just for the state of Georgia, I believe. So it's probably all analog. So, but I'll get you more information, and we'll post something in our groups.io also for those of you that are subscribers to that. There won't be a second Sunday radio session this year. And for you, Karin, what we do on second Sundays is we usually meet in the park up at in Dunwoody at Brook Run, and we put radios out and we play radio for 5 or 6 hours on Sunday. But this year, Bill and I are going to be down in Orlando, and we're usually the ones that are putting all the antennas up and setting the radios out. So we won't have a session because of that. We will do a breakfast on the third Saturday, which is the 18th. That's something I just kind of threw out there today to give everybody a chance that can't make the Friday lunches to try out a breakfast once a month. Maybe we'll see how that goes. So there's an email in the groups.io group for that. And if you have any questions, I think I put it on Facebook also as an event on the Facebook page. That'll be from 7:30 to 9:30 at Goldberg's Deli down in Toco Hills. They're off of La Vista, I believe it is, or Northwood Hills, maybe Northwood Hills, but it's in the email and it's on the Facebook page with the address and where it's at. So do join us for that if you'd like to get out and meet some of the guys and can't make it to lunches on Friday. Lunches on Friday still are going on, of course. Mellow Mushroom in Brookhaven. And that's usually from about 12:30 until we get tired of looking at each other. And that's usually about 3:30 or so. So that's an option too, usually we have some neat conversations and someone will bring a project or something they're working on. So you're more than welcome to bring something to an event like that. And we're still working on a trip, possibly field trip to the Pisgah. Oh boy. Drawing a blank on it's up in the Pisgah National Forest. It's the Astronomy Research Center. So we're looking at doing a field trip in March for that. So stay tuned. We'll get some more details, and we'll get some signups for that, so that because if we have too big of a group, we have to divide it up into separate groups. And that's for the radio astronomy telescopes up there that they have, and it's a neat facility. And we were waiting until earlier in the spring to go versus the winter because of the weather. So if March doesn't work out, then we'll look at April or May. That's about all I have for the moment. I think at this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn it on over to our dashingly handsome program.
I don't know. I feel like I'm too wide here. I feel like this is.
So anyway, Rob, you take it away for the program for tonight.
Yeah, quick thing. You said we're not going to have a meeting, and we're not going to have a second Sunday this year. You're talking about second Sunday this month.
Did I say this year? Yeah, just for February.
Yeah, this is the February this year. We're not doing it because of Orlando, but it'll resume next month unless it's replaced by the field trip. Okay, sorry, still remnants of COVID, but I got a doctor's note, so I'm okay. Supposedly, great. Our program tonight. Hi, Karin. How are you doing? Thank you for being there. Speaking of being ill, Karin has got laryngitis, and she's agreed to try and talk to us, and but she's promised that if she's feeling bad, she's going to stop, and we'll move on. We don't want to kill you on this. And I heard a joke. What do you call a ham operator with laryngitis? A CW operator.
Right.
Anyway, Karin Thompson from KD4 DXX, even though I said KD4XX in a bunch of places, KD4DXX, and you'll tell us what position you are at and about, I guess, and about the company, but she works for, in some capacity, or owns in some capacity, RT Systems down in Lagrange, and they make programming software for HTs and I guess some other things, and HRO's got it. And if you played around with programming, you especially if you have different radios, you have different programs from different vendors and with different levels of quality, usually bad, worse, and really worse. So RT's got a nice consistent set of programs that do that for you. So I'm looking forward to hearing about it. So with that, welcome, Karin. Again, if you feel ill, say something, and the floor is yours. Or
Well,
if you can't say something, so yeah.
Thank you. Actually, things got much better this afternoon, but all of you will forgive me if I'm a little rough at times. I'm glad I can talk as well as I can. I'm really flattered that you guys wanted me to tell you about RT Systems. It's one of my favorite topics. Rob had asked some very poignant questions, and so let me get to just the basics of it. In 1995, Daisu came out with a poster showing the FT11 and the FT51. Instead, the radios cloned. And my husband, Rod Thompson, took one look at that and said, I wonder if we can get it to talk to a computer. And he did. And the rest is history. With that one thing, I feel we changed the face of amateur radio, because there's not a radio made today that doesn't program from the computer. We don't do every one of them. We do 518 of them, which is quite a collection. We are constantly chasing radios. And one of the things we have compared to other tech support, other companies, is when you call and ask me a question about your radio, the first thing I'm going to do is go get the radio and look at the buttons you're pressing. We had somebody today that couldn't get a 6000 to work, and we talked to him and we got the radio, and we realized he was pushing the button on the radio before the program told him to push the button, and it was making it error out. And something as simple as that we never would have figured out had we not had the radio to be able to generate the same error. And like I said, it's one of the biggest advantages we have. And Rob had also asked, what radios do we do? We do radios we're asked about. We generally do the ones for the major manufacturers, Kenwood, Yaesu, ICOM, Linko, when we hear about them, when we know about them. Those are pretty much givens. And then all the rest of them, all these Chinese companies, it's when you guys ask us about them. And that's the only way we know the radio exists. We get nothing in advance from the major companies or from anybody else. We buy the radio and that's where we start. And you wonder why there's not software when the radio first comes out. It's because we don't have a radio. We don't get anything in advance. And so our first look at the radio is when they hit the market. And we then work with it, figure out how it works and figure out the interface for it and go from there. Development can take a week for something that's easy to 6 months for something that's very complicated. So it gets to be really interesting. We're working with these radios on a level that y'all wouldn't imagine that we work on. Absolutely at a point that if we do something wrong, we lose radios, and we don't. In 27 years we've been doing this.
Karin, I think, John, is Karin coming in, fading in and out? John,
A little bit.
sorry, just
I've picked up most of what she's saying. It's a little in and out.
Let's see if that is that a little better.
yeah, I think it's better.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to my microphone.
Uh,
In the 27 years we've been doing this, we have maybe lost a half dozen radios. And generally we lose them before we present anything that you could. And that's why there are warnings in the program. You can't send to the radio if the VFO is empty. You would not believe how that stumps people. What am I supposed to put in it? Well, it's a 2-meter VFO. Pick a frequency. And we even move you to the screen, to the box that needs attention. And it baffles me. But we help them through it. We get them a frequency, and then the file goes to the radio. But if the file went to the radio without that, the radio would cease to be a radio. You could build a house with it. You would have a brick. So, and we've 27 years, and we do all we can not to let that happen. Yeah, we may set something a little strange or something else a little strange, and you tell us that because we can't test every single combination. But tell us if something doesn't work together quite right. But it's just that it'll misbehave a little bit. A color will change wrong, or it won't scan quite right. These kind of things. So like I said, we're very careful with these radios. And like I said, I have them all. But some other things I wanted to show you about the programmers. Let's see how long I'm going to last here. Hang on, let me share my screen. That's not where I wanted to go. Okay. So you can see my screen and see the programmer, the 6000 programmer. Actually, I'm hoping to do now. This is the FTM 400. Are you still with me?
Yes, we can see everything.
Okay. And the thing I wanted to show you is the fact that the programmer reflects the radio. I happen to have 2 Yaesus here. And the FTM 6000, you notice, has 1 bucket of memories. The FTM 400 has 2 buckets of memories. And if you think about the radio, It's got a top and a bottom. Some ICOM radios have a left and a right, but they'll still only have one bucket. It's just the design of the radio. Now, we can think of lots of ways for you to get 2 meters on one side and 440 on the other if that's what you want, but it gets a little tricky doing that. Okay. The other thing about the programmers, always remember that the grid is not all of your radio. That was settings, radio menu settings, and you come up with the rest of the settings in your radio. So there's not, oh, I'll set that on the face of the radio and save it. It just doesn't work that way. Guys, looking at the screen, it looks like Mike has got control of the microphone and control of the audio. I don't think you're hearing me.
We are.
You are hearing me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, the screen just didn't look right. Okay. Other things built into the program under File and External Data: radio reference, which does require a subscription; repeater book, which is free. I'll do Boston because it's there. It brings me back a list. I can drop out what I don't want just by clicking on it. And I can create the file. And just that quick, I have a lot of frequencies for around Boston. 236. Sure couldn't enter them by hand that quickly. In the Windows program, these are all in numerical order. And let's sort them by name. And now all the call signs came together, and the radio doesn't care that it changes bands and frequencies one after the other. And it just gives you a better list to work with. So there are lots of things the program can do. And I'm going to have to make this short tonight. I can tell my voice isn't going to last. This is my webpage, rtsystemsinc.com. We have an extensive knowledge base, and we have these how-to videos right here under this link.
Not looking at the, we don't see the website or the link.
Okay.
Still on your program.
Let me see if I can bring it up this way.
Karin, if we have a question, do you want us to interrupt you or hold them to the end of the program?
You are welcome to interrupt me. What's up?
Are these frequencies something you have in a database, or are they coming off a radio reference? Where are these frequencies stored at?
The ones for radio reference are stored on his website. The ones for repeater book are stored on his website. The ones for RFinder are his list. Those are all internet based.
Okay.
So this came from repeater book.
Okay. I'm a scanner person, so I use radio reference a lot. And this looks very familiar, is why I asked.
Let me show you another thing, being a scanner person. Don't do that. I can do edit and add frequency range. And I can put in 100 channels, or let's not do that. Let's put in 25 channels. And tell it okay. And it's stepped by 5 kilohertz steps, and just put everything in. So if on your amateur radios you wanted to scan in a range, you could just put them right into memory and let it scan. Okay, can you see my web page now? Did I get it in the right place this time?
No, I see it like a spreadsheet.
Okay, Let me go back
Says
to,
receive frequency, transmit frequency, offset frequency.
okay. Is this bringing it up where you can see it? I shared
No.
the screen funny. Can you
That's in
see
the
my,
it's in the center of the screen now.
okay, you can see my website.
Yes.
No.
Knowledge base and how-to videos. And the how-to videos, you notice it doesn't run off on you. And some of them are even things to read rather than actual videos. But in general, if I find something that we have to spend time figuring out, I'm going to write it up so that you can find it. So all kinds of good information. I'm sorry, my audio's going tonight too. So anyway, and I apologize, guys, that I need to make it short tonight, but I don't think my voice is going to hold out tonight. I would love to do this another time when I'm at 100% and can talk for a long time.
You know, that's fine, Karen. You're sounding good, and we appreciate your time.
Well, I appreciate you having me. Were there other questions I could answer quickly for you?
I got one that I got one that I hear often is why does RT Systems make their own cables and why are they so expensive?
Because they're American made, they're high quality, and we are no longer tied to our cables. We'll let you use any piece of junk you want to go out there and find, and good luck. Make sure you get the right electronics, the right wiring, and the right connection at the radio. All three of those play into a cable working or not working. We spend a lot of time figuring these out and designing them, and they work. And besides the fact, at the price of the cable, which is $24 in the kit, you got somebody you can call. You get a replacement if we determine it is a problem with the cable. You get a pickup label for the bad one to come back. I could just cease all of that and put software on the web page and leave it at that. So cables are a big deal, and we have opened up the software so you can find the drivers for the cable that you bought. You can determine the COM port for the cable that you bought and assign it in the software. And then you can determine whether it's the right cable for your radio, because it may or may not be. I do a video on cables, and I show a half a dozen cables, all with the exact same pin spacing. And I show how 2 of the 6 work and the rest of them don't. So that's, you have that option, and we've put it in the program. So you do have that option now, because we know USB has gotten a little better now than it was when we first started in 2009. There was circuitry that would hold bits, and the radio can't stand that. The radio's got to have it in the radio's timing, and our circuitry is designed to give the radio what it wants as it wants it. And there were boards that would hold bits, there were boards that would add bits, there were boards that would do all kinds of things. And we said, fine, nope, this isn't going to happen. And we tied down to our cables. You don't have to do COM port setup. We automatically find it. We know it's there, and we know it's the right connection for the radio. So it's been working well for all these years, but lately we just decided to go ahead and open it up and let all the others be used.
No,
So,
appreciate that. And I didn't mean to pounce on you. I've got several RT systems, several of you software for different radios, and I've got your cables for all of them, because you know, I know that they're guaranteed to work together. So
they are. And the other thing is, remember, anytime you can come to my page, you can go to a cable for anything. And on here, and you see this one cable, I picked a good example. This one cable works with all of these radios. So once you have it once, you have the cable. But you can, this complete RT product guide, it's great information. It shows you that list of radios that works with a certain cable, shows you what color the cables are, these kind of pieces of information. It's a good reference, especially in PDF. So
Another question.
mhm,
Excuse me.
yes.
I know at one time you did not do DMR radios. Is that
Mhm.
still the case?
No, we do DMR radios. We've been doing them for almost a year now.
Ah, okay, good.
Mhm.
I'm a longtime user of RT systems, and I probably got at least 10 versions of your software for different radios. And I have to say it works great. I love it.
Oh, thank you. Now, the DMR is complicated in itself because of the file structure of those radios. So as far as the ease of copying from one to the other to set it up, it is not nearly as easy, purely because you can still copy them in, but then you got to set up your zones. You got to make sure your talk groups are set up. You got to make sure your talk groups are on your channels the way you want them. So there's a lot more to that file setup. But with the column editing that you can do, it can be real easy to do in the program. Like APRS is set up on a per channel basis. And all you have to do is set it up once and copy it and paste it down the whole row. And you can set it up for 200 channels in less than 10 seconds. A whole lot better than picking each one at the time and telling it to do APRS.
Yeah.
So as an example, other things can be done the same way. I was setting up somebody's file one day, working with it, and he had 17 repeaters on which he wanted the same 5 talk groups. Well, once I did the first one, then all I had to do was enter the second frequency and copy the talk groups and paste that 5 down into it, and then paste it down into the next ones and paste it down into the next ones. And you can do that kind of copy and paste and it'll do just fine with it. So it's easier in that respect, but it's still complicated. And in my knowledge base, this one I like to show off, DMR. I have basic file creation, and these videos, these are about 6 or 7 10-minute videos of setting up a DMR file. I point people to these all the time.
Karin, when Ed, you said that you're seeing the website.
No, it's not up again.
Okay.
It's gone away again. Sorry, I
Uh,
just didn't share the screen right. Sorry.
we see your cursor moving around.
Huh, I don't know. We'll just,
Close out of
when I asked it to share the screen, it's doing all these separate windows. It's not showing me my whole screen, which is what I expected it to do. So, no, sorry. Usually when I do that, it just shows me my screen, then anything I do on the screen comes up. But anyway, rtsystems.inc.com.
how many people work there? You talk about designing cables and writing all the software. What's your staff like?
There are 12 of us. But as far as all the design and that's me and Rod. I have 3 people in production that package the packages that you see at HRO. I have someone who does production who makes cables all day, every day. There we go. There's my site. I have 4 people in tech support besides me and Rod. So there's 6 people in tech support. I'm down to 1 developer along with Rod right now. We're actually hiring, looking for some good developers. I have a graphic artist, secretaries, and we do a lot for the few of us that are there.
No, you definitely do, especially with one developer. I see that you've supporting the Mac now. Very nice.
We've got about 35 in the that have gone to Mac. Yep, and I hate to say it, but every day we talk about not supporting the Mac. With the changes they make with each change, it's a challenge to say the least.
Is that the same? Is it the same developer writing the code for both platforms?
No, one of them writes only for Windows and the other one does both platforms.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I've got one last one. Some of us have been playing with the code plugs on the TYT, trying to on our own just figure out, what's in the code plug when we've got the binary sitting on the computer, and we're trying to decode the whole thing, and not looking for company secrets, but you did an amazing. It seems to me like it's miracle work that you do to go into these things totally blind and come up with everything and find everything. And I was just wondering if there was anything you want to say about that.
He's been doing it for 27 years. And because of that, he sees things that somebody new at it wouldn't. So that's the big reason he can see in them what he sees, is because he's been at it for so long.
Yeah, experience definitely helps.
Yep.
Did I see on the website that you do 512 radios?
Yeah, it's short. It's up to 518 now.
Oh, wow. That's remarkable.
Yep. It's quite a collection.
And you personally will take calls on all of them and know what to look for?
Do not call me. I have 4 people in tech support. You'll get me during lunch. You might get me after hours, but that's what I pay my tech support people for. And if they don't know, they'll figure it out. And that's what I'm there for, is to support them, because they've got to learn how to do it. But it's everything from, let's see, what's one of my favorites? My 4100, the screen goes blank. Okay. Turned out he was pushing the button for bank mode, and he had no names in the banks. So it was bringing up, which bank do you want to select? And they were all blank. And he had no idea what he was doing. Took me 2 or 3 hours to figure that one out. Had somebody today that couldn't see all their memories in the 991. Again, it was bank mode. Helped him know how to turn it on, turn it off, and use it if he wanted it. So those are the kind of things we do that are beyond the programmer.
Nice. So do the people work at your location, or are you spread around?
You have to work at our location. How else are you going to have access to the radios?
That's true. Good point. Good point.
Yep. Yep.
Anybody else out there before we lose Karin? There's so much going on here. It's what I say every week, every month. Someone's got to have more questions.
So you actually have one of every radio you support.
One of some and 5, 10, 15 of others.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I stopped counting a long time ago. Put it this way, when we moved from Colorado and we're designing the new office, where the radios were going to live was a significant consideration. It was almost more of a consideration than where the people were going to sit. So, yep, it's quite a library of radios, to say the least.
A lot of real estate there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, you haven't asked the most interesting question, why Lagrange? And that's because I grew up here. I got to come home.
I was wondering.
Yep, got to come home.
Yeah, that's one reason why I contacted you. Is you were a Georgia company, and so that gives us a little in common. You members of the radio club down there?
I am. Yep. Yes, I support them in the Columbus Club, and I do some things with the club in Noonan. So, but we do programming 24/7. So unfortunately, we don't get a lot of radio time. We stopped doing radio when it was so strict about not talking about business. And as soon as we'd pick up a microphone, people would ask us about business, and we didn't want to get in trouble over that. So we have been off the air for virtually 25 years. You might find me checking into a net occasionally, but you won't find anything else.
Yeah, that pecuniary interest, yeah, clause.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Every time. Anyone else?
Do you have any how-to books?
Do I have what?
Any how-to books to help program a certain radio?
I don't have how-tos per se per radio. I have what's in the videos and the knowledge base that'll cover a lot of specifics on radios. But I have to admit, and some of the older radios have extensive help files with them, 300 and 400 page help files, where I was holding the radio in my hand while I wrote the help file. So there's a lot of, oh, be careful you don't do this or that type stuff in it. But so there's a lot of good information around, but I have to admit there's not this is how you do this radio per se. The radios just outran me.
No doubt. That's quite a number of radios.
Right. They came fast.
I don't have a question, but a couple of comments. Number one, I think your products are fantastic. I have them for just about every radio I have, and your tech support is great too. And I really appreciate the company, and I'm a great supporter of RT Systems.
Thank you, David. I appreciate that.
Do you do Hamfests?
I'm going to do Orlando, but we don't do many purely because we're in the office 7 days a week. I can't get away for them. And my husband and I are the only two to do Hamfests. So I have no one else that can do them. So we have a choice. We stay home and we develop, or we go and we do Hamfests. It's hard to decide sometimes. I'd like to do more, but I can only do so much.
Plus, you're honest. Some companies spend money, selling all the time, and they forget to produce the product that they're selling. So you're out there developing, which is good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, we generally do Orlando, and let's see, we might or might not do Huntsville this year, and Dayton. We may only do Orlando and Dayton this year. There's just so much to go around. Only so much to go around.
Yeah, that's they're all good. Yeah, I get that.
Yep. So I'm
you,
thankful for this kind of platform to be able to spend time with you.
Oh, I see you have a software for the Anytone 878. I'm gonna have to get a copy of that. And the
Okay.
cable. Already have the
Well,
cable.
you already have the cable because the electronics for that are in the radio. So of course we play off those same electronics
Well, I have the cable that came with it. I
and
don't-
it'll work just fine.
It will, okay. So I just need the software.
You just need the software, order it, download it, and you'll be in business.
Cool.
You know, you mentioned USB earlier. Wasn't there was a famous problem, I think, with what was the USB drivers. There was one company that made a really crappy, I think, driver, and they were telling everybody to watch out for it. So at least the USB settled down. That's a good thing.
USB has settled down, but now, of course, Windows 11 and Prolific decided not to move forward into Windows 11. And so all those old cables have stopped working. So that's another consideration because I'm sure there are millions of them in warehouses. And if you order one, you don't know what you're going to be getting. So that's another thing to consider when you order those generic cables.
That'll be on your website on the cable page saying warning if you're running Windows 11. Yeah, you may
I-
really have.
I say it every place I can find to say it. But you have to remember too, I don't have enough room or bandwidth to say all the knots. So I have an explanation of that in my knowledge base. And I say that our cables work on Windows 11, but I couldn't begin to list every cable available out there and say whether it does or does not work on Windows 11 or 10 or whatever.
Oh no, I just meant warning people, not actually looking at those cables. Oh,
That's in my knowledge base. I know I've written that up.
what about software updates? How does that work?
Help check for updates.
And you get permanent updates on that?
No, you get permanent updates in the same version. If we're in version 5 right now. If we move to version, and it'll be 7 because 6 is in the Mac, we hope to put enough new features in it that it will entice you to move forward with us. When we do a major upgrade, it is a paid upgrade.
That's standard. But so there is an upgrade price. You don't have to pay full retail for the new version.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That sounds right. Sounds right.
And like between 4 and 5, the big thing is you get it's downloadable, it's repeatedly downloadable, and we keep up with your serial number for you. Besides all the other features that have gone into it, but that's the big thing. People call me all the time. My new computer doesn't have a CD drive. Well, you got 3 choices. You can map to a network drive, and most people don't know what I'm talking about. You can buy a CD player to compensate for the lack of equipment that computer has, or you can upgrade your software. You got 3 choices. So, we make it possible to do. It's just you got to decide which way you want to go.
Did you get any pushback from companies like HRO when you started, selling through your own channels?
No, because we were selling through our own channels long before HRO approached us.
Okay, so okay, you were doing it first. Cool.
But see, the thing is, I don't compete with my dealers. I sell at retail. If they want to run specials, that's up to them. I don't compete with them. I sell at retail. Just like the other manufacturers. If you call Yaesu for a radio, you will get it quoted at manufacturer's list price. So.
Yeah, keep everybody happy.
Mm-hmm. Right.
John, anything?
No, I just was trying to run around the page real quick so that anybody that didn't get a chance to see it.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it.
that was my biggest question earlier is what brought you to Lagrange, and you answered that. So
Yep.
No, this is great, and this is going to be on YouTube probably this weekend. So I'll send you the link when it's out there in case you're curious.
Okay. Sounds good.
And I guess I'll send it out to everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you for taking the opportunity. For even though you were sick, thank you for I guess as I said, your dedication to RT Systems, right? It's an opportunity to talk them up.
Well, I do it because I love it, and I do it because there's such satisfaction in working with somebody and helping them be successful at what they're doing. So, that's why I do it.
No, it's wonderful. Well, you got to sound like a fun company with your husband, and that's cool too, right?
Yep. We've been 24/7 for 32 years.
Well, thank you. This has been very informative, and you'll have my next order shortly.
Well, thank you. Either through us or HRO, feel free to support your local dealer, especially if you're in the store and you can pick it up and take it home.
Oh,
Does HRO support, I guess they don't, the download version, like they don't have a server where you buy it from them and download it?
Well, when you buy it from them, if you buy a kit, anything you buy from them, you can take home and download.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. You do not have to buy it from our site to get the download. Although if like Ed wanted to buy it from our site tonight, it's available. So I'll leave it up to you.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen. Appreciate that. I'm impressed with all the work that you all do. You seem
Well,
you got
thank you.
it going. I hope you feel better.
Got a question?
Could be worse.
and Mike said he had a question.
Mike, you had another question?
Yes, do you have a DMR package for what versions of what handy talkies?
For
I have
was it the TYT, right, Mike, or was it the 380?
Yes. Yes.
I do have the 380. There's a DMR section on my page. Just click on that and it'll list everything there for you.
On what page?
rtsystemsinc.com.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we'll get that out.
There you go. Thank you, John.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
I think that's the TYT.
That's the UV 380, and then the 380 is up above it.
There you go.
Yep. Do be patient with my
I'll have to
page.
get you.
Even if you order for download, it's going to ask you for shipping information. It's a computer. What can I say? Just answer its questions.
Just one on the DMR side. You were talking about how easy it is to enter radios. So it seems to me the problem I've always seen with DMR is if you have, say, a repeater and 5 talk groups, you need to type in those 5 lines or over and over again, with the frequencies and color code, for each talk group. And I was
Type it in once and copy and paste it.
Yeah, you can certainly copy and paste.
And then reach over and set the talk group, and then reach down and set the zone by wiggling your finger 6 times.
Okay, that sounds easy. Because
Yeah, I was thinking,
go ahead, whoever. Yeah, I was just thinking that it'd be neat if you could say, here's my repeater, and here's here's a comma space list of talk groups I want, and then the thing just fills, populates it.
We have talked about doing a wizard like that. It just hasn't happened yet, but the
Okay.
idea has come up.
Cool.
Yep.
That's good to know.
So all you have to do is enter the common information once, sort of like our D-Star calculator. So we've talked about a DMR calculator, but I'm done, guys. I can't talk anymore. Sorry. I got to go.
Have a good night. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Have a good night.
Take care.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Let's see.
We had more people. This is another good one.
What's that?
I was saying I wish we had more than 9 people.
Yeah.
We may want to do that one again when she's feeling better. Or
Yeah.
maybe we'll take a ride down to where she said they're based in Lagrange.
Yeah, Lagrange.
We could drive down there and do they have a store there or is it
They got it looks like they have
or
a
a facility?
facility.
Yeah, we should probably make a trip down there.
If they make it to Orlando, I'll chat with her a little and see what
No,
we can get away with.
I think the
They
storefront.
were
is
at the Atlanta Handing that years ago.
Was that?
What's that about?
Oh, well, what was years ago?
I said I think they had, what's the name of the company? RTS?
RT Systems.
I can't hear you.
RT Systems.
Oh, yeah. I think I picked up a handout from their display at the Hamfest one year. So they used to be there, but I don't know I don't know if they're doing that anymore.
Yeah, it seems like, there are not many of them to, yeah, so I can understand why they're not, going everywhere.
Oh, wow. I thought they had a picture of their shop here somewhere.
So
518 radios is a lot of radios.
Yeah.
So I saw the numbers for Huntsville. 5,600 people went last August, and Orlando gets about 20,000. What does Dayton get, John?
Dayton's, I don't know. I can't remember if they crest 30,000 or not. I honestly wouldn't be surprised in the next couple of years if Orlando overtakes Dayton and Gate.
Oh, I think it will.
I didn't know Huntsville, because Huntsville's number 3, right? I didn't know they were that far behind Orlando.
Yeah, it's a really big drop off from the 2 biggies right now, which are Orlando and Dayton.
Yeah, if you go to their website, it's out there right now.
Yeah. I mean, in our heyday, when in '86, I think it was when we were at the national convention, we only had 10,000, which would probably equate to a 20 or 30,000 in today's dollars. But we only did 10,000 through the door that year when we were downtown.
That's the Congress Center?
Yeah, I think that may have been the World Congress Center. I can't remember. But other than that, other than that, we were back where Huntsville is, or actually below them. I have to pull some of the figures out from the archives, but yeah, there's a big drop off once you get past Dayton just being the Hamfest, and then Orlando being. It's not necessarily that it's a destination for families, it's more just the good weather for February and when I was talking to John and Mike the other day, that they said really a lot of it's just the weather and people can get down there and not freeze to death. So
And
it's,
if you have an RV, it's perfect. You have a
Yeah.
huge RV park.
because I made the comment, I said, well, y'all are vacation destination for the families. And he said, well, honestly, that's not where the numbers come from. It's mainly from the fact that the weather's really good that time of year.
Well, we certainly know Dayton's not the place for family.
But I mean, and yeah, I mean, like I said, you're in the next couple of years here, Orlando's going to overtake Dayton and Gate.
That's impressive.
The only thing I forgot to mention when we first started was there's the ARRL volunteers on the air. I don't know if y'all have seen the email on the groups.io. That'll be coming up next week, and it'll go from Wednesday to Wednesday. And that's open to everybody to participate. Basically, you work as 1WAW /4, and it works sort of like we did the WSB event. The page looks the same. You go in and there's a link, and you go in, you pick what frequency and mode you want to work, and then you don't fill it in yourself. You just email the different folks that are involved in filling that sheet out. You email them and tell them which slot that you want to work, and they'll put it in there for you. But if I guess if we need to, we can always repost that email if you have an interest in working as W1AW /4 starting next Wednesday. And then we'll have another opportunity in October. This was kind of a brain fart by ARRL. They came up with this idea and then didn't really tell anybody about it until the first of the year. So they didn't give anybody time to really plan for it and get the word out. So I think it'll be a lot less worked in February than it will be in October. But all throughout the year, you'll be able to find the 1WAW /whatever the region is. So it's something you can collect and get points and claim victory at some point over others if you want to.
We're still thinking about doing the Strange Antenna Challenge.
Oh yeah, I should have mentioned that. We need to push that now so that we can put together some strange antennas. But yeah, that'll be on the calendar too. That'll be for May. I think that's Memorial Day weekend, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, just need to find a space. It was the backyards that we've been in and worked out really, really well. The people who did it last time, their backyard in Stone Mountain, they moved to Royston. So they have a bigger backyard, but they're 90 miles away.
Yeah. Well, I guess worst case, we do it in a park somewhere and get some strange looks and some interest from non-hams to come up and take a look and see what we're doing.
Definitely should attract onlookers.
Then, of course, we have the QSO party in April. It's second weekend, I believe.
Yeah. Bill usually goes down on what you do Sunday, right, Bill? You go out riding around Georgia.
Yeah, QSO party, we'll do a Saturday event and like we've been doing. And then those that want to go do things mobile wise, they can do that on Sunday. That's what Bill usually does. So.
And I don't think anybody's looking at doing a test. But with the testing sessions coming up, I guess second Sunday. So it's a week from this Sunday.
Yeah. Orlando weekend.